guys. Yeah.
Take one look in the dumpsters of Neuralink, and you'll know why. Because they are running through test monkeys like they grow on trees. They're being investigated for cruelty to animals and
macaques. Though, is it
animal
macaques,
testing
Pat?
processes? I don't know. It's definitely an ancestor of the human being. But
we'll get to more of that in the science stuff. Also, if it's macaques, I'm really not. I mean, like, if it's macaques,
better than us,
sourced from violent areas.
Yeah.
You know.
You are.
There it is.
Hell yeah, boss.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning and welcome to episode 1098 of Hard Factor. Whoa, is that really true?
Whoa. Did we skip a few numbers?
Whoa.
That was like 1095.
It is 1098.
Oh,
last week.
Whoa. 1100.
1098. Feeling great.
That's really close to 1100. I was shocked. Of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, December 7th, 2022. Thank you for cheating on the news with us today. Pat's got the Trump organization found guilty, new JFK files, and SCOTUS. It's the junior legal version of the cup of coffee in the big time.
And we're going to stay that way because I'm not getting any more education. Half of an associate's degree is where I stop.
It's expensive, and we didn't cover it, but the college reimbursement stuff is like, it's
not happening for you.
It's actually going to the legal corner. That's what's happening. That's what's going to.
Sounds like a very Pat coffee.
Two things happened. Well, we'll get into it.
Fantastic. Wes has body bags and Sharia law, often go hand in hand, on deck.
Yeah, we're going to scratch 2 destinations off your must-go list today.
Thank God.
Were they already on there, though? Or is it like 2? Is it really disappointing?
I would think that, yeah, actually they are pretty disappointing.
Oh,
yeah.
Juicy. I've got science. Oh, what's that?
One especially. One especially.
Is
very disappointing.
Okay. Can't wait to hear. I've got science shit in the hole. It's not UFOs.
Yeah, right.
UFOs.
Yeah,
it is UFOs.
Yeah, right.
It's UFO. I had you guys.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Just for a second. But no, it's got some UFOs in there. And Mark has questionable parental decisions and a game that goes along with that to close things out today.
That's right. Highly requested game.
Hell yeah. I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
There's only one way to get there, and it's to start. Here we go.
Yeah. Cup of coffee in the big time.
Okay. First up, just off the top, science news, not related to UFOs. Neuralink is being investigated by the feds, but not for what you think. Why do you guys think Neuralink, Elon Musk's brain chip implant company, would be investigated by the federal?
I know the answer, so I won't answer.
I would assume it's because he could control an army of humans.
Well, that's a good reason.
Good, really good thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can turn people into assassins.
Right.
No,
Yep.
no, that's
basically what I'm saying, Wes.
Good concerns, guys. Yeah.
Take one look in the dumpsters of Neuralink, and you'll know why. Because they are running through test monkeys like they grow on trees. They're being investigated for cruelty to animals and
macaques. Though, is it
animal
macaques,
testing
Pat?
processes? I don't know. It's definitely an ancestor of the human being. But
we'll get to more of that in the science stuff. Also, if it's macaques, I'm really not. I mean, like, if it's macaques,
better than us,
sourced from violent areas.
Yeah.
You know, make sure you're doing the right thing, though, Elon. Not a gentle monkey.
I've got a cat that's acting up this week that I'm about to volunteer for the program.
Well, Neuralink's right there in Austin. You can go drop it off.
Will they take a cat?
Importing macaques sounds expensive. You want to find local
Love my
macaques.
cats.
Well, especially if you got to locate the most violent macaques. That's an expensive program, but worth it.
They're just Googling violence.
Just the baby throwing macaques.
Yes.
Yeah, the baby throwing.
The search history on those macaques would be insane.
The dog mutilating macaques.
Right. What do you think about the macaques that jerk off in public? They stay?
As long as they
don't kill anybody. Yeah.
Those are the best.
They're living the dream, right, Will?
They kind of are.
Will?
They really are.
The ones that
Legal
jerk off
for
with
them.
stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to leave you with this on the Elon Musk thing. Think about how cutting edge Neuralink is, right? Implanting chips into brains. Think about how amazing that level of research might be. And if you're privy to it, if you're deep in it, how important it must seem. And then think about how bad the animal testing needs to be for the employees to complain to the federal government, because that's how the investigation started.
Oh yeah, well they there was reports initially, I think, about a monkey where the Neuralink basically just fried its whole brain. Like it just fried it as a being. Like it just totally destroyed it.
This might be controversial, but what about those freaks in the subway that were thrown in loony bins?
Whoa. Human testing.
That's some Nazi stuff.
Mark's going deep.
Is that too dark?
We're moving on, Kanye.
Long ball.
Is that too deep?
Go deep, guys.
Dark?
Too deep. Guys, I do want to bring one other thing up today. It's that we had our internal meeting earlier, and we noticed a trend. And the trend is that there are some subjects that, regardless of your political affiliation or how you bend or how you were raised, there are some subjects that seem to be universally popular when we talk about them. And for some reason, it's crapping on hobos. And it got us to think...
That's what I just did right there.
Is this a sign of bum fights coming back? We had an internal debate. Is bum fights coming back? Because every time we talk, mostly Wes talks negatively about homeless people, mostly in a satirical fashion,
right.
People are like, hell yeah, you tell those hobos.
Well, I want to get to my idea, which is bum pranks, where you prank homeless people. Like, you know, you give them food that's like got real hot stuff on it, you know, and then watch them eat it.
I thought you meant like tricking them into like giving them a home.
No,
taking it away.
No, you just prank.
It's reverse extreme home makeover.
Yeah.
Bum pranks, bum fights.
This home isn't for you, it's for us.
Bum pranks.
Mark already has another one, bum testing. That's going to go through the roof. I mean, if people can get that on TV, unreal ratings.
Anyway, stay tuned, and you'll have to listen to Hard Factor to figure out what the other subject that's universally popular is. Guys, two of the Trump Organization companies, Trump Corp and Trump Payroll Corp, were found guilty in the Manhattan court, where they were facing multiple charges of criminal fraud. All the charges they were found guilty of all the charges that they were facing. Falsifying business records, you know, it's like a 15-year scheme to defraud the IRS, not paying taxes, not reporting taxes, paying compensation in kind, etc.
It makes sense, Pat, for a guy who bragged about not paying his taxes.
Yes, that is very true. Now the House,
basically what they were charged with, they just found him to be guilty of it.
Right. Now, the controversy about Trump is that he doesn't pay his taxes because of legitimate loopholes, potentially, but we'll find out now because his tax returns are in the hands of our government. But this is more very, very overtly fraudulent tax avoidance. And they could face a fine of $161 million. What? I mean, what? That's nothing, right? It's like absolutely nothing.
Isn't that what they skimped on? Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like you would start a MAGA campaign to pay for it.
We have that right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 161's like, so they're telling them to just pay their back taxes?
Yeah, pay the back taxes.
No, nothing else?
Pay the back taxes. Yeah, that's it. The guy that testified, who was like Trump's dad's guy and then Trump's guy, and he essentially flipped to avoid the rest. He's old as shit. I mean, he's Trump's dad's guy, but he flipped to avoid going to jail for the rest. Was like, well, he's still doing time and shit. Anyway, whatever. Trump and his family weren't charged. What are you going to do? Warnock and Walker, guys. Polls
Trump's
closed.
dad's guy would love homeless testing, by the way.
You think?
Yeah, guaranteed.
He'd be into that?
Pitched it so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
He'd sue us for
copyright.
Yeah, copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Bum pranks? No, I already have that trademarked, man. You're going to have to cease and desist.
He's like Jigsaw. He's got it all diagrammed out. All
Oh, man.
Cracking up this scheme for decades.
Yeah.
I want to film a guy almost giving a bum a hug and then stopping and then walking away just for me.
And then saying, ew, bum.
Ew, bum, gross. Guys,
Good
hug
job,
bums.
filthy bum.
Yeah. Bums don't get hugs. That's what he says, actually.
they don't talk enough about Donald Trump's dad pretty much being the genesis of the evil curly mustache, right? Like,
I don't even know what it looks like.
He has a weird look.
He has the evil
Donald
curly
Trump's
mustache, for sure. Anyway, guys, polls closed yesterday.
Is he the senior? Or wait, no. Wait. No,
Well,
what was
used
Donald
to
Trump's
be
dad?
Drumpf.
He came from Germany, right?
What
Fred
was
Trump.
Donald Trump's dad?
Yeah.
Fred Trump.
Fred Trump, yes, Fred. And he had an evil mustache.
He had like a Hitler mustache, dude.
At times, that's when
No,
in
like
the 40s,
if you
when
Google
that was in
Fred Trump,
fashion.
they show the Hitler stash.
Well, no, he went to more of a broom handle
Okay.
Towards the end.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
He migrated.
He definitely at some point when doing fucked up thing.
Yeah, he's got a thick old
bums.
mustache.
Where's twist? He was a twister. He was a twister of the edge of his stash.
He had the real thin Hitler though for a while. I see what
He
Mark's.
You see what I'm saying? He had the
when he
straight
was
up
young.
Hitler for a while.
When he was young, he rocked
In the 40s, during the time you shouldn't have that stash, he had it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He also had the Walt Disney, which is like a very evil but subversively evil. Like you don't at first glance you don't know it's evil, and then you dig in and you're like, whoa. Anyway,
wanted to let him know, you know.
Exactly. I know what you mean, Les.
It's Hitler was such an evil guy that he ruined that look for an entire men can't now have a short mustache. It's off the table.
Didn't Charlie Chaplin have it too?
He did. Charlie Chaplin
did.
before
He
Hitler.
ruined it.
Hitler
ruined
destroyed
it.
it. A lot of people had that look, and nobody now can wear the short mustache because of Hitler.
It would be great to have like an evil,
ridiculous look
dictator ruin the bowl cut.
It is a little weird, yeah.
Or ruin something like universally stupid.
It's like it's a reverse soul patch. It's a soul patch
Yes.
on top
It's
of
a
your
soul
lip.
patch below your nose.
It's ridiculous.
It's bold, man. It's bold. Anyway, guys, moving on. Polls closed yesterday in the Warnock-Walker Senate runoff. Walker was quoted as saying that he hopes he, quote, choked out the competition. More updates on that soon. No results in yet.
Is that an MMA joke?
No, that was a domestic violence joke.
Oh, okay. Could have gone either way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a jack of many trades.
Yeah.
Herschel
Yeah.
Walker.
Go read Roger Sullenberger's article. Man, that guy, you got to give it to journalist Roger Sullenberger, friend of the show, for just relentlessly breaking Walker stories for almost 8 months straight.
Dude, I was listening to Fox News this morning, and they were interviewing people who were like voting in Georgia, and they were just going down a line of and asking rapid fire, "What's the number one most cared about a topic?" And people were just like, border, illegal immigration, border, illegals, border. Yeah,
It's gonna be close.
inflation.
It's gonna be a close. It's gonna be a close race. It's gonna be a very close race.
Oh yeah, just like the midterms were so close.
Is it tonight?
Besides
right
Trump
now, yeah.
candidates,
It's right
which
now, right?
Walker is
Yeah,
one of
they
them.
polls just closed.
We're recording this Tuesday night while it's
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of which, President Biden said Tuesday he will not visit the U.S.-Mexico border during a day trip to Arizona because he has, quote, more important things to handle. Pissed some people off. Why go to a border state and not go to the border? A reporter asked Biden on the White House lawn. But yeah, more important things going on. Who knows?
I've got exactly what was going on later on.
Been there, done that. Okay, guys, this is an exciting story. There's new documents that were released by the National Archives yesterday that may shed some light on the conspiracy that keeps on giving. And I'm, of course, talking about the assassination of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. In a Tuesday press conference at the National Press Club. A journalist named Jefferson Morley, who used to be at the Post, he's a veteran at D.C. Press Corps, and for the last 20 years has pretty much dedicated his life to writing books about the Kennedy assassination, government cover-ups, things like that. He's a preeminent expert, undoubtedly. And he's working with the Mary Farrell Foundation, which I didn't know about until I read the story. It's very cool. I became a member. Mary Farrell has essentially the largest collection of the declassified JFK assassination documents. Anyway, at the press conference, he told reporters that he and attorneys with the foundation, they obtained documentation relating to a still classified covert operation, which is approved by senior CIA officials 3 months before Kennedy's death, that suggested the agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, used Oswald for intelligence purposes several weeks prior to the shooting. Now, why this is important is a lot of people think that the CIA was complicit in murdering John F. Kennedy. That's a very popular theory. Morley said the operation, which sought to blame Cuban leader Fidel Castro for an act of violence that could be used as a pretext for a full-scale invasion by the U.S. If you remember, Kennedy wanted to invade Cuba, And I'm sorry, Canada did not want to full-scale invade Cuba. And the Hawks, the War Hawks, I believe one of which was Alan Dulles, who went on to run the CIA and was on the Warren Commission, were pissed about that.
Bay of Pigs.
Bay of Pigs, baby. Yeah, so that's the situation. Now, Morley said, quote, "We're talking about a smoking gun proof of a CIA operation involving Lee Harvey Oswald, which would be very huge news. If you guys remember, before Oswald was killed in police custody by Jack Ruby, he said that he was essentially set up. He was being used. We never got to hear from Oswald because a mob-affiliated club owner shot him dead before he could talk. I don't know, guys. A little bit shady.
Yeah,
It's all in the up and up. It was just a magical shot by that guy, and then they let the club owner get too close to him, and he killed him. And it was all.
I think historically it's been known that governments, as a rule, never lie or do anything that would be unfavorable if the citizens were to find out. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, Pat, we already got kicked off of TikTok. What are you trying to do here?
No, I know. It's okay. You can't get kicked off YouTube. But I do want to ask you guys a question. No.
I mean, yeah, like, dude, does the government change the story on absolutely everything that happens? Yeah, probably so.
Right. So as a guy, right, who's gotten very into this JFK thing over the last couple of years, and has dug a deep, there's some weird shit there. I'll tell you that from my own personal experience and research. But I'm curious, guys, when I saw this headline, and then I checked my calendar, and I realized that we're just a week away from the December 15th deadline, which was set by Joe Biden for the government to release the rest of the documents, of which there are many, right? Is the United States ready to hear that theoretically the Central Intelligence Agency was involved in the assassination of JFK?
What are you talking about? Everyone's already heard that theory. There's been 17 movies. That guy that does all the movies just did a huge one that was like on HBO Max.
Oliver
Stone.
Are you being sarcastic right now?
No. I'm serious. Imagine this. There's a U.S. press conference.
Are they ready to accept it? Is what you're asking?
No. It's not going to be fact. It's not going to be a document that says for a fact that it happened. So no, it's fine. It's exactly like the UFO documents. It's a nothing burger. So yes,
release something that says it says like the government
has
mentioned
no idea. COVID earlier, the UFO thing earlier. They're not going to release a document that says we did it 100%. Whoops, it's not going to happen.
Same thing.
I want a deathbed confession is what I want.
There's been a bunch of those.
Yes. Yeah, but I want one that's like reputable from like a former director of like the CIA.
The millions of people that already think it will think it, and it won't really change.
There will be somebody. Look, what happens with all things in government? There will be somebody who gets fired for doing something, but that's just
they'll blame a dead guy. They'll blame a dead CIA director,
or blame a dead guy. But that's just a distraction from the fact that they're never going to tell you the truth. They're just going to.
It was a rogue CIA thing, potentially, maybe with the mob. Maybe who knows?
And then we've fired this person, and we've made this new rule, that's the truth.
So to answer my question, no, they're not ready.
No one cares, Pat.
Well, Pat,
either you think that the CIA did it already, or you don't.
No one's going to care.
Most people probably already believe that the government.
Everyone that's going to yell at me for caring already cares. They're like, "Oh, you're wrong, Mark," because you already care, though. So
I care.
Right.
Yeah,
I care.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, that's insane to think that JFK could have been set up,
but.
And that the government could have known about it and let it go on. That's just fucking madness.
That's fucked up. But what are you gonna do?
The CIA was not talking to the rest of the government. That's the problem. They have autonomy. They're operating independent. That's why they were running drugs in the 1970s.
But I mean, when you think about it,
pay for their operations.
You're right, Pat. And also, when you think about it now, like with all the shootings that go on in today in America, you hear all the time, "Well, that person was on our radar. That person was on our radar." So it's like, it is possible.
It's wishful thinking on your end, Pat, because you're too deep into it. Is what it is.
I want to get a radar set up in my house. Is what I want, like they had in the Hunt for Red October. Let's get into
the cream of the crop.
You're making me want to watch Enemy of the State.
Oh man,
stuff like that.
Enema of the State.
Yeah. What'd be fun to do is to watch Enemy of the State today with someone who like is ex-NSA to be like, yeah, no, that technology was possible, not possible, and see how accurate it is.
Well, it's also it also brings in the mob, just like this story. It's like the same groups of people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the mob is fucking around, baby. The mob comes
and also
in.
Gene Hackman. So
Gene Hackman, I think,
and one of Will Smith's better roles. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, you gotta see Enemy of the State, bro.
Enemy of the State's great.
It's okay.
You gotta see it.
Now, I'm going to now.
Yeah, enjoy.
It's a must watch.
I'm gonna love it.
Spoiler: Will Smith is the enemy of the state.
Well, yeah, I mean that's not a spoiler. You can look at the cover and he's running
Will
from like
Smith's in
17. Will Smith's the main character. Yeah.
Pass.
Yeah, I know, but it's actually one of his better roles. It would be a regretful pass, Wes. I'm telling you, Hackman is amazing too.
I love Hackman.
Yeah,
Hackman's really good. Great Hackman film.
he's
Runaway
back.
Jury. Runaway Jury. Great Hackman film. You got Hackman
Oh yeah.
with
Favre,
Cusack.
John Cusack. Yeah.
Yeah, in a Grisham. Come on,
Oh,
It's
forget
great.
about it. All right, let's get to the cream of the crop. But though I want you guys to meet Lori Smith. Hi, Lori. Look at Lori Smith.
What's up, Lori?
Ooh, sweet, nice woman.
denim jacket, very
Middle
nicely put
30s.
together. Yeah,
Right. Lori Smith owns a company called 303 Creative. 303. If you're a area code guy, you know that's
Miami?
probably a Colorado
Damn it.
based boutique. Remember that band 303? Colorado based
Oh
band.
sure.
Yep. Don't trust a hoe. Anyway, she owns a boutique, Colorado based boutique, 303 Creative, and they do like design, marketing, graphics. They're a one-stop shop for small businesses who want to maybe have a new presence, new logo, get some flyers made, some et cetera. You guys know the type of agency I'm talking about. She's the sole employee. She's the only person that works for a small company. And back in 2016, in the midst of that Colorado case that had gone to the Supreme Court that involved an actual incident, right, that occurred when a Colorado baker refused to make a wedding cake for a gay couple saying, y'all's gay, I'm not touching it. Well, Lori got to thinking.
two grooms.
Who's gonna eat this cake? There ain't gonna be no wedding.
How are you going to eat it when you're having sex on top of it?
I'll make you the cake, but you're going to be struck down by God before you get to eat it. Anyway, so yeah, that was happening, right? An actual incident, right, that required legal action. Something happened. Someone said, hey, that shouldn't have happened to me. Let's take it to court. And it had a precedent. Right?
Colorado, this has been going on for what, years, right? This whole Baker situation. Colorado,
Well, yeah.
It was first like the decoration of the cake. It's the whole thing. It's just been going on forever, right?
This is what we're talking about.
And they misspelled the names.
They misspelled the name on purpose.
Yeah, on purpose.
Right.
It's just it's just been going on forever. And then there's a lawsuit.
Then they made the little caricature 69 on the cake.
You know what this reminds me of is the North Carolina bathrooms. Remember that? That was wild.
We're gonna get into that too.
Okay.
We're gonna get into that too.
it's
That
funny.
was
It's all
wild for
here.
a couple years. Yeah.
I was Pat. I was working with one of my photographer, and she said that she did a little like reconnaissance work where she sent out an email to a bunch of people in the industry, and she pretended to be a same-sex couple, and she said she was shocked at how many people that she knows that I know in the industry that were just
They're like, nah.
nope.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, that's
They're
really
like,
good
we've
to know.
shut down our business today.
Wouldn't you just
hold that thought?
not reply instead of saying nope? Like
Yeah,
you gotta get-
that'd be the smart thing to do, but
Got to get your 2 cents across.
yeah,
Will.
you gotta let them know how you feel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad you said that,
Mustache
Wes.
on.
no, and you're wrong.
Just know when they ask if anyone objects that I am spiritually objecting from afar.
Don't tell any of your gay friends to contact me either.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and I'm praying for you.
Well,
Yeah.
ride with me on meeting Lori because we're gonna touch on all that. So Lori got to thinking, right? Branding and marketing. This is back in 2016, and graphics is cool, right? It's pretty good business. She's working with probably usually small businesses, but Lori thought I also wanted to get into the wedding website business. Theoretically,
Smart.
potentially, right?
Yeah.
But there's a problem. Quote, although Lori is a daughter, a wife, and a mother, Lori identifies first and foremost as a Christian, a follower of Jesus. And, quote, Lori's understanding of what is sinful versus what is pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, or praiseworthy are rooted in the Bible and her personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Now, those are quotes from a lawsuit I'm about to tell you about. And on top of doing her Ministry for Toddlers program, which I didn't know was a thing, she believes
Christian daycare.
She believes, quote, that marriage is a God-ordained institution between one man and one woman. So that's Lori. And here's the rub. Colorado bans businesses, shops, and other places of public accommodation from discriminating on the basis of sexual orientation. So like most all entrepreneurs who want to get into a certain area of business where there might be regulatory challenges, she immediately filed a lawsuit against the Colorado Civil Rights Division so that if she did eventually ever make her way into the wedding website business sometime down the line. And, she would be able to refuse gays who were trying to get hitched and needed a custom website if she did actually offer that service eventually.
That's a non-starter for her.
Mm-hmm.
She preemptively filed the paperwork.
I'm not going to be able to do this job unless,
Oh, she didn't just preemptively fire she didn't just preemptively fire the paperwork. Well, again, she'd never made a wedding website in her life. But if she did, she wanted to be able to not make it for gays.
Right.
She filed the paperwork, and she took it all the way through 6 years of legal proceedings to the Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court heard 303 versus Ellis on Monday. And it was a case, much like the reason for Lori's lawsuit. It was a case of theoreticals. What would happen in the situation?
She was thinking about how much she'd hate it.
Yep.
Yes.
I cannot
get ahead of this hate.
I cannot start the business.
You know what?
I can't do it yet.
I can't start it yet. I got the business cards and everything, but I can't.
I'm gonna hate this business.
Yeah,
because I know a gay is gonna email me.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a gay.
Why did I do this to myself?
As soon as I find out the answer, I'm going to learn to code, and then
Yeah, exactly.
This is fucking insane,
She's
guys.
still steps behind if she wins the case. Yeah.
Junior legal analysis, the majority of Supreme Court cases, right, which essentially set precedent for what laws we have in our country, the most powerful organization in our country, are spurred from actual situations where the challenges need to be brought, right? Like, for example, this guy won't make me a cake and I'm gay. Not if eventually maybe I think about getting in the wedding business.
Yeah, that would bog down the court. That would bog down the courts in hypotheticals, right?
Right. So it was all theoreticals and hypotheticals. What would happen in this situation? What would happen in that situation? What would happen, I don't know, if a black mall Santa was met by a kid dressed in a KKK outfit that wanted a picture. And that discussion was had on the floor of the Supreme Court, which, I don't know, let's kick it over to conservative Justice Alito to hear more specifically about that argument. This is from
Santa.
You know, in the Netherlands, they have what is that? Slender Pete. What's the guy's name?
Black Pete.
Black Pete.
Mm-hmm.
There he is.
Yeah, different culture.
There's a black Santa at the other end of the mall, and he doesn't want to have his picture taken with a child who's dressed up in a Ku Klux Klan outfit. The black Santa has to do that.
No, because Ku Klux Klan outfits are not protected characteristics under public accommodation law.
The judge
And
asked
presumably
this?
that would be the same Ku Klux Klan outfit, regardless whether if the child was black or white or any other characteristic.
And you do see a lot of black children in Ku Klux Klan outfits, right? All the time. Suppose that
at least he made fun of himself at the end for that insane scenario.
The council made fun of him.
Okay,
he didn't. The council made fun of him.
He came up with that scenario as a Supreme Court justice. That was like the first thing on the top of his head.
Exactly.
Imagine this. Well,
fucking
you
ridiculous.
have to test extremes. That's part of the law. You see.
Guys, this has
He's
to be
the
an
best.
expensive. This has to be an expensive.
He's the best.
To the top.
That's our Supreme. He's the best.
This has to be. This is the top off the top of my head. You're at the mall.
He did it again.
I got it, guys.
Lito did it again. He's the best.
I think
Imagine this shit.
Yeah.
Case closed.
We all now know who behind closed doors all the other justices think is not the smartest of them.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not Halloween, but he really wanted to wear his KKK outfit today.
Yeah, this kid demanded it, right?
And, we did go to the black part of town where there might be a black Santa. Anyway, guys, this has to be an expense.
Did they get? Was that televised? Because I would have loved to have seen the two black justices' faces when he brought that one up.
Oh, they got mad.
Am I right?
It wasn't televised. It was just the audio recording. But yeah, I guess this has to be an expensive endeavor. Getting a case to be heard at the Supreme Court, that is. To give you an example, the video game industry paid $1.1 million in legal fees to challenge a California law in 2011 that said that violent video games couldn't be rented or sold in the state, which is a drop in the bucket because video game industry is like $220 billion industry, right? An attorney named James Bopp, who's argued a ton of big deal cases in front of the Supreme Court, he estimated it at $250K in lawyers' fees just to ask the court, just to get to the place where you're filing at the Supreme Court. And if they actually agreed to hear the case, it would be millions of dollars to hear the case argued. This is the truth of our legal system. So the question is, guys, who's paying for this lawsuit.
Oh,
This
the parties.
this theoretical lawsuit.
The parties or political donors, they're willing to pay this kind of stuff to force it through the courts. This is part of, this is part of the system.
Will's right.
It's like
it's not Lori.
Passed.
What's that?
No, it's not. It's not Lori.
It's like getting a bill passed. I mean,
it's like getting a bill passed. The actual people that are paying for it is the people that are representing her. It's the Alliance Defending Freedom Organization, or ADF. And one of their goals, which was put on some internal documents, is to get Christianity written into the legal system based on their interpretation of the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah,
Right.
lobbyists for Christianity.
Separation of church and state is not
These are the people that believe the framers' original intent for the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights was to reflect God's natural law. And these are the same people that in 2003 filed a Supreme Court brief in favor of homosexual acts being recognized in the Homosexual Criminality Act. So they tried to get homosexuality to be illegal again in 2003. Yeah.
Boy, did they not see the writing on the wall.
Great
Because
people.
5 years later.
worth a shot, right?
Okay, so the big question is, first of all, this is bullshit because nothing fucking happened.
see you next
yet.
year.
Yeah.
But
We'll try it again.
like, why don't you just not answer the email? You know what I mean? Like, I get if you got caught, make it happen, but like, it wasn't that such a big part of your potential business because you haven't done it for fucking 6 years. You've been doing the same shit you've been doing.
Oh, they just do this stuff. I mean, it's like what I said, it's like passing a bill, getting a bill passed. These are lobbyists. An alliance for anything is a lobby group. Anything, fund for America, whatever. All these things are just, rich people trying to get their way with the law.
That's a strong bill, though. If the Supreme Court decides on it, I mean, it's going to take a lot to, it's not like reversing the Supreme Court in Congress or something.
The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Baker.
Order.
In 2018,
right,
ruled in favor of the Baker.
They were allowed to refuse, right?
But they said specifically that they're going to wait for another situation to happen to make a final ruling, essentially overturn the Colorado. But then it doesn't matter.
Weren't they supposed to like disclose? I guess I don't know the details of it. Like if they,
the point is this is political posturing in our court system. Regardless of what you believe, it's bullshit. Yeah. It's a waste. It's a waste of your money. It's a waste of my money. Just don't fucking answer the email, lady.
The courts get bogged down, man. The courts get bogged down. Wes and I were just in federal court, and you should have heard how many times that judge said the courts get bogged down.
Money talks. Money talks. Bullshit walks.
He
wasn't even a real judge.
He was complaining left and right. Yeah, he's like, I'm only here because the other judge is even more bogged down.
Right. You go up to a federal judge and you're like,
you're swimming in bogged down already. You'll never hear that. This will never get through.
It's a really good cause, Judge. Hear my case. It's a good cause. And then they just immediately like put their hand out, like how much fucking cash you got to get this on the docket.
Wes, I wanted to ask how often this happens. You said a colleague of yours sent an email out, right?
I mean, I've talked to like pastors and stuff. Like I've had gay couples and they've been looking for like a pastor or something. And I was going to work.
That's different.
Yeah, it is. But like they're not necessarily even like associated. This is just their moral beliefs, not necessarily associated with like getting married in a church. It's like, hey, can you come to our venue, like out in the middle of the woods and get married? And they're like, nah, not if it's a gay couple. I don't know. I don't know why people would even fucking respond. I'm with you.
Venues makes more sense because a lot of times people live there, and I could see like people being very like staunch about their rules on their property or whatever.
Yeah.
You trying to bring me out in the woods to turn me gay?
This is like an online business. I don't understand.
If I marry them, I'll catch on fire. You know that, right?
Yeah. You know that, right? You trying to kill me?
Just where it's like the guy's house. He's like, you could do it in my yard, but it's my rule. I'm the pastor in this yard.
I completely get like pastors and stuff, passing on it. But if you're a wedding photographer or like a baker, like you just don't answer it, right? Just say no.
Look, you can refuse your clients. I'm with that.
No. Yeah.
But
you don't have to say why no.
Yeah, just don't say no because I hate you.
But they're
gonna make it clear too that they're gay in the email because they know this shit happens. They're they're like me and my partner Bruce.
Right.
I had someone else write this because I was too disgusted to even be near the computer thinking about you two. No,
there's so many people that feel that way. They pay this much money to make sure that it gets heard by the court so that they get the decision.
I understand. It's religion.
That's what's going on.
Fuck this organization. One quick side note: Amy Coney Barrett, who's Supreme Court Justice, spoke at the organization 5 times before
she's an ADF rider, bro.
Yeah,
ADF ACB was excited.
Guys, this whole thing is stressing me out. Well, it was stressing me out before I took a little gummy, a Next Evo gummy. Yeah, baby. Stressful side of the holidays is coming right at us. I've been reading stories like this, doing last-minute shopping. But the gift that can help take the stress out of the holiday season is Next Evo. Mm-hmm. That's right. CBD stress.
Right on the bottle.
Next Evo's stress CBD complex gummies are clinically proven to have 4x better absorption than the standard CBD. No other CBD brand can promise that. We use them for chilling. We use them for sleeping. And we use them for just being. You guys love the Next Evo gummies, right? The smart sorb technology.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
How
it's
do you
the best.
use it?
You can't get it any better.
Sleep. Use it to
Yeah,
sleep.
sleep. Sleep's the main thing.
I only have two gummies left. My next package.
Me too.
I like the stress ones the best. I'm the daytime guy. Love it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You should really try these. And guys, you can get smarter CBD from Next Evo Naturals and get up to 25% off subscription orders of $40 or more at nextevo.com/podcast and use the promo code HARDFACTOR. That's nextevo.com/podcast. Use that promo code HARDFACTOR, nextevo.com/podcast, promo code HARDFACTOR. And maybe sleep better at night.
Highly recommend the sleep.
Oh yeah,
CBD.
it's like
incredible. With the melatonin. Whew.
My wife was a little annoyed how quick I went out last night. You can
time it.
Sleeping already? My bad. Yeah.
That's right. Guys, the holidays are here. You know what that means? You got to give gifts, right?
That's right.
But achieving gifting greatness is easy when you give the gift of perfectly aged, tender, and delicious Omaha Steaks, right? Last night, you know what I did? I went to the grocery store. I picked up a little hamburger. Then I picked up a little can of manwich. Made some manwich. Then you know what I did? I grilled some of those juicy, giant jumbo franks that Omaha sent us. Put that manwich on top of the franks. And my God, was that delicious. Yeah.
Franks are fantastic.
How about that? A little manwich dog. The steak experts at Omaha Steaks have put together special curated gift packages to help take the guesswork out of gifting and make you a holiday hero. So go to omahasteaks.com, take advantage of 50% off site-wide, plus use code HARDFACTOR at checkout to get an additional $30 off your order. You can send an assortment of mouth-watering favorites guaranteed to impress, like the bacon-wrapped filet, chicken breasts, hot dogs, juicy burgers. Omaha Steaks is ready to ship your order right away, so shop early and beat the shipping rush. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code HARDFACTOR at checkout. Omaha Steaks is a gift from the heart, a gift that will be remembered with every unforgettable bite. Order with complete confidence today, knowing your order is ordering the very best. Visit omahasteaks.com. 50% off site-wide, plus promo code HARDFACTOR. You get additional $30 off your whole order. A minimum order may be required. Very good stuff.
Best.
Guys, there's nothing worse than dying, right? Dying to the pits. Right?
I mean, I would hope not.
Some people get sad.
Torture, maybe.
Yeah.
Some torture could maybe be worse than death.
Yeah, I guess so. But
Extended torture.
You might live through torture, though. That's the thing.
Maybe, but maybe not.
That's what you're saying. If it's like continuous, long.
What if it's torture to the point where you're guaranteed to die eventually, but it lasts forever?
Right, that's bad.
Okay, that might be worse.
That could be
That's
worse.
definitely worse because dying could be sick.
Yeah.
We just
Hemorrhoids are bad.
Yeah,
We don't know.
hemorrhoid is bad, honestly, Mark. You don't need to pluralize
Yeah,
it.
hemorrhoids bad.
One will bring you to your knees.
I mean, look, if those Christians, if those gay hating Christians are right, hell might be real, and then we're in for a real trouble.
That would be worse than death.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be worse than death. Hell would be
What a-
worse
what
than
a-
torture.
What a good soundtrack it'll have down there.
Yeah.
Oh, heavy metal. Yeah.
You just die and get hemorrhoids and have to listen to heavy metal.
Also, most of the musicians are sinful, so they're probably down there. Yeah.
That's true. We'll
Yeah.
see you guys. I'll see you guys down there. Luckily,
Well, that's bad, Wes. You're right. It's one of the
it is
worst.
bad. Yeah.
Pretty much the
Especially-
worst you can do in life, right?
Right.
Besides the torture to death.
Everyone's sad. Everyone's talking about what an asshole you were. All that stuff.
Michael Jackson will be in hell. That's for
you
sure.
might end up being molested by a University of Pittsburgh student. You never know, right? Yeah. Well, Michael Jackson is.
He's in hell.
He's got a crown on down there. Luckily,
Yeah.
even if
He may have been so bad he gets a good position. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
welcome to hell. Luckily, even if you do die, it's not always a guarantee that you will stay dead, right? Like 62-year-old Jose Ribeiro of Brazil. There he is. There's Jose. Now
he's 62. He looks great.
Right? Yeah. I don't know if this is an old picture. Yeah, this is a young picture. I think.
Yeah, it looks like a mugshot from the 90s.
Yeah. It might be his driver's license that he never got renewed.
Got rained on.
Yeah. Now, Jose had been struggling with tongue cancer because Jose Ribeiro, let's just say his nickname amongst the ladies was La Lengua que quieres en la noche, which translates to the tongue you want at night.
Yeah, he's a real Michael Douglas. Yeah.
Can you get cancer from being super tired?
No, but you can get cancer from licking a lot of pussy back.
Yeah.
And I think
that translates to my favorite actor is Michael Douglas.
That's right. Wow. Exactly. Anyway,
because his tongue's so tired.
Yeah, it's true.
Could be. Yeah. He's got a tired tongue. Anyway, back on November 29th, poor Jose's tongue and body finally tapped out, and he was declared dead by a doctor at Guiano Central North State Hospital. There's what it looks like. Not the kind of hospital you really want to be in.
Looks like a Walmart kind of.
Looks fine.
Looks like a penitentiary / hospital. Is what it looks like. Maybe a bus stop too.
Your odds 50-50.
Yeah. Anyways, so they said, sorry, Jose, you're dead. He was declared dead by the doctor. His death certificate was signed. Here it is. So they wheeled him off to the morgue, right? However, that tongue of Jose's has a mind of its own. So while Jose's body was resting in a refrigerator in the morgue, his tongue gave a pep talk to his heart, his brain, his penis, and the rest of his organs and said, "Come on, guys. We still got a few more years of pussy licking in us. What do you say, heart?" And his heart said, "I'm in. What do you say, brain?" The brain thought about it for a second. Then he woke up and said, "I'm in." Then the tongue said, "Penis, I know you're in." And penis said, "What took you so long?" And they all came back to life. Jose was alive again.
Who is it they call for at night?
Yeah.
What happened to tongue cancer?
Well, the only problem is Jose was in a fucking body bag in a refrigerator in a morgue in Brazil, which is the last place you want to be when your tongue wants to go one more round. And from the Daily Mail article, they said that the day Ribeiro was wrongly declared dead, the family arrived at the hospital around 8 p.m. to make the necessary arrangements to move his remains to a funeral home about 61 miles from their hometown in Rialma. However, a worker at the funeral home was prepping Ribeiro's body, looking just how amazing his tongue was. Suddenly noticed that his eyes were open and he was having difficulty breathing, and his tongue was flickering like crazy, just looking for anything to lick. And his sister, and her
the rumors are true.
Yeah. I'll lick anything. Come here.
Even in death, the tongue that is wanted at night.
La lengua que quieres en la noche is back. So the family came. They're like, "Oh my God." They rushed to the funeral parlor. They rushed him to the hospital. Unfortunately, not even Jose's willing organs and tongue were a match for the hypothermia he suffered.
So they killed him again?
Literally on ice for 5 hours.
They killed him.
And he died 2 days later. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So no.
How did this happen exactly?
He still had horrible tongue cancer. So even if he came back,
he wasn't in the best shape, but he could have lived.
That's
who
worse
knows
than
how
death.
long.
That's worse than death.
Yeah.
Being in a morgue and like stuck in a wall and freezing.
Yeah.
And then that's worse than death.
He was like a crab on ice.
Freeze to death again.
Yeah. So he died 2 days later, and then they finally, took him. They carried him away in a casket. This time they were sure that he was dead. But now the doctor is being investigated, and Jose's death is a potential homicide. The doctor's been suspended, and the cause of death was hypothermia. And so now they're thinking that maybe some malice went on, and the doctor is being investigated for murder.
Tongued his wife, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's tongue that may have gotten around. Yeah,
could be. So pretty crazy stuff.
Well, R.I.P. I don't want to, speak.
But you don't know anything about him being you're going on just based on his look that he.
But there could be. Of course,
but,
and also his nickname, Pat.
The article didn't say how much he loved to eat pussy.
The tongue that's required at night. Look, we don't want to speak ill of the double dead.
Right.
No.
I mean, I think I'm speaking highly of him, to be frank.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, no, for real. Yeah, this is an exaltation piece. And hopefully his family gets a nice settlement out of this, because it sounds like the doctors did kill him.
The doctor was whispering to him as he put him in his cold casket. "That is your last night, tongue." He shuts the door. "I know you can hear me.
La lengua es muerte." So, that's that. Rest in peace, Jose. You were a real one.
R.I.P.
Got Guys, if you want to get laid, no strings attached, I suggest you go to Indonesia. Book a plane ticket to Indonesia right now because residents there have exactly 3 years to get all the no strings attached sex out of their system, because in 3 years, a new law will go into effect, which was just passed by the morons over there, that will make it illegal to have sex outside of marriage, and you could spend up to a year in jail.
They're giving them 3 years.
Yeah. They're giving them 3 years to get it all out of the system. So before you put it in, you better put a ring on it. Otherwise, you spend a year in prison.
Yes. It's terrible to everybody who's like, like 14 right now. But if you're like 17 right now, this is the biggest windfall of all time.
True, Will.
I mean,
STDs are going to go way up in Indonesia.
Yeah.
You're about to have the best 3 years of your life.
But the problem is, you are. Well, it's like getting out of COVID or something.
You ask everyone everywhere you go. You hear about that new law?
Mm-hmm. TikTok.
That's all you say in any conversation.
We better get to it.
Look at your watch.
That's the best icebreaker of all time.
It is. But it doesn't just affect residents of Indonesia. Even if you visit one of their luxurious resorts, like in, say, Bali, you see that bed over there on the right? Well, you better be married if you're going to fuck on that bed, because if anyone spots you fucking and knows you're not married, even if you're American, you could end up spending a year in jail.
How do they prove it? Like, you're not going to bring your marriage certificate.
Listen, I mean, if you're at one of these resorts, I don't think you have to worry about it. But
I'm not going to fuck with tourists.
Someone smells your dick.
Yeah.
But they're saying it's going to really affect tourism because no one wants to risk it.
2 vaginas.
We're going to bring in the nose.
Indonesia?
Indonesia.
Well, they're highly Muslim, right?
Yes, that's why the Sharia law. So they're mostly Muslim, and now they're kind of moving towards this conservative, Muslim belief, and they're kind of turning into Saudi Arabia. They've got new laws.
Tropical Saudis.
Yeah, they've got new laws. They're going to ban adultery, even living together outside of marriage, blasphemy, all the stuff that goes with Sharia law. Indonesia is getting hardcore. So,
That
might want to get over there now and then never go back again.
No way you're getting a cake made if you're gay in Indonesia.
No, you get flogged for being gay in Indonesia.
The lady with the website's about to move there.
Yeah.
You heard about this? She was very excited.
She's Christian.
You also can't insult the president or criticize state ideology over there anymore after 3 years.
Pat,
you can't you can't talk shit about the state.
No, it's becoming very like totalitarianism and it's Sharia law. Yeah,
it's Sharia law. I think there's a mutual respect level at some level for ultra evangelical Christians, because they're jealous of that in a lot of ways.
Oh,
like
yeah.
They wish they could
extreme Christians and like extreme Muslims have a lot in common.
They're handshaking on the new Bali rules. They're
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, how is it beating your wife? That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Can't get away with that over here, but hey,
we don't see eye to eye on everything, but on this.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Get over there while you can.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes, indeed. All right, hold on to your butts, guys, because we've got some UFO videos to watch real quick. A lot of pilot videos. I'm playing one on silent here for you guys. Where it's in the skies. They're filming lights and other things that they can't explain out of the cockpit here. A couple of pilots see like some blinking lights that are just with them the whole flight. They can't explain it. It's unremarkable videos because
unremarkable.
There's nothing. It's just blinky lights. It's like, okay, these are probably UFOs because these pilots know what they're talking about, but it's just a fucking blinky light on an iPhone video. That doesn't mean anything to anybody. But I thought about then, what about people on submarines, right? Because you guys know that UFOs and UAPs, they're supposed to now identify as transmedium. So have submarines had their underwater towers buzzed by UFOs or UAPs as well? Because
of course they have.
Mark, you're right. Turns out, according to one former government scientist, yes, on the USS Hampton, and this is a picture of that submarine you guys can see, a beautiful big sub, back in the 90s. The exact date and location is classified, but Bob McGuire, he worked for the Institute of Defense Analysis, which is like a think tank, I don't know, some kind of, government scientist to get contracted by the government. Anyways, he claims that the following happened aboard the USS Hampton. Again, this is sometime in the 90s. Location, exact date, undisclosed, classified. Here it is.
We're underway, and all of a sudden I hear this sound. It's really strange because it's clear that what is going on is something is whizzing by us.
Whizzing.
And it's moving so fast. I just can't believe it because this submarine is limited in the speed it can go by the incompressibility of the water in front of it. And this thing blew by us like we were standing still. Now, I'm not going to throw anybody else under the bus here, but I guarantee you the following happened. A person with knowledge of onboard systems came out and said, oh my God, this goddamn thing is going faster than the speed of sound underwater, but that's faster than the speed of sound in air.
Welcome to Lato Files.
Ooh.
Was it a shark?
Yeah, was it Megalodon?
Did he see lights? Did he see lights on this thing or no?
UAP. No. You can't see out. There's no windows in a sub, so you can't see outside. He heard it whoosh by the sub, he says. And he was on there. He has pictures to confirm like he was on the sub or whatever.
Was it a missile? A torpedo?
Hopefully not.
Was it a torpedo, I mean?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
There's
quick. There's faster than the speed of sound. That's way faster than that.
Yeah, torpedoes don't go that fast, I don't think.
Yeah, so who knows? The aliens, the orcas.
Look, I think
the Chinese,
the aliens like the ocean, right? I mean, it's possible. Yeah, the Chinese.
760 miles an hour is the speed of sound.
That's
a submarine travels about 23 miles an hour. A shark about 31.
So something going faster than anything under the water can go.
I'm looking up fastest torpedo.
Wow.
Well, while you do that, Mark,
370 kilometers or 230 miles per hour. That could have been a fast torpedo that freaked him out.
3 times faster than that.
How did he know it's faster than the speed of sound?
Because he said a guy with knowledge of the systems.
He might have been exaggerating.
Wouldn't there be a sonic boom?
Speed of sound.
Yeah,
potentially. They said it was going all over the place.
They might have been fooling with this gullible idiot.
That'd be a strong torpedo.
Sound moves faster in water.
Whiz. I'm not ruling out the orcas or the Chinese guys, but if it is those Chinese, well, they're shit out of luck, fellas, as Apple and Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company are being paid by the U.S. government to put new semiconductor plants in Arizona and away from places like
there, right?
China. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Is that why Biden's there? He might be.
It's the CHIPS Act. Yep. And don't take it directly from me, guys. Take it directly from President Biden himself, who was trying to figure out exactly the best way to communicate to this crowd in Arizona on Tuesday what this means, this chip action.
We'll construct a second fab here in Phoenix to build chips, the 3 nano chips, the 3 nano chip. Chips that are 3 nano, and you know what I'm saying. No, I don't know.
He looks like he's just going to fall asleep. And he's building.
Why did they have him talking about technological terms up there?
Anything.
Mark, I mean, 3 nano 3, take that, China. That's what I say. Nano 3, we're making it, okay? So if you, China, are behind the UFOs, you'll have to do it without our iPhone Nano 3 chips now, all right? And also,
that is good that we're making them in the U.S. That's good.
Yeah, it's good. Also good for us and Taiwan. Also, our buddies, South Africa and Australia, who probably actually secretly work for China, are going to find out who's operating those UFOs soon, since they're making the world's biggest radio telescope. It's an entire square kilometer of antennas. They're going to find out who's controlling these UFOs. We know it's you, China. Actually, apparently, these telescopes, the radio telescopes, world's biggest, it's looking for stuff in space that's a real telescope can't see. So China's totally safe. We'll never know who drives the UFOs.
We'll know.
No, not with this radio telescope. But it's not only chips, guys, sensors, and weapons like the new B-21 Raider stealth bomber the Air Force and Northrop Grumman just unveiled, pretty sexy, that we're good at building. Turns out humans are also good at making fires too, and not just from bombs, amazingly. So good, actually, that our ancestral cousins in species, they're called the Homo naledi. There's a skull of one, and that's what they looked like right there. It's like kind of like a human, early human, prehistoric human. Well, turns out these guys started making fires and using them to navigate and live in caves as far back as 330,000 years ago, according to new findings in the Rising Star Cave System in South Africa. And so
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. It moves stuff back way longer than they thought. So specifically in the Denaldi chamber, it's filled with the bones of these Homo naledies, and also proof that they lived in the cave.
Don't say that around West. Homo naledies. That's going to get him confused.
Naledies?
Well, it's going to get him confused. He's stuck on the lady boys. He has no clue what's what.
Is that a new pageant?
Wes, do you think that's a male or female Homo naledi right there?
Oh, that's a dude.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, this Denaldi chamber is filled with their bones and proof that they lived inside caves, roasting antelopes and relaxing like that. So, we're talking 230,000 years at least ago, meaning that modern humans probably evolved alongside several other smaller brained human species that could all cook, navigate, and build shit way earlier than we ever thought that they could. And as recently as 2019, scientists just discovered that prehumans were actually cooking with fire as long as 1.5 million years ago in Kenya. So, that's humans have been around and doing shit way longer than we learned growing up. And it all adds up to make me think that with all this technology, we still have absolutely no fucking idea what's beneath us at all.
In the ocean.
No, on land either.
Scary.
This shit is a cave that people can actually crawl into, and they're just now in
Just
2022
literally beneath us. Yeah,
right. It's literally just beneath your feet. We have no idea as humans. We're so clueless to what's happening right below the gold mine all the time.
You know what happens if you get stuck in a cave? You know who comes to rescue you?
Elon Musk.
Other cavers. The only people that can get you out of a cave.
Small people. In fact, Pat, this Denaldi chamber,
children.
Couldn't get a picture of it, but you have to be so the guy who's reporting on it, he had to lose weight just to get into this thing because you have to be skinny enough to like squeeze through this crack because these people were small. These things were like 80
Boy,
pounds.
you better not. You better overshoot, not undershoot that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you get stuck.
No, he said he almost died on the way out. It's insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, right. Crazy stuff though, guys out there.
I'll make you wonder. All right, guys, I have a very special edition of the most requested segment in the show's history by a landslide. And it's special because I'm not sure or all of you will think either of these is that bad. So we're going to have to just see. Right. And that's why we're going to play. And today's which one's worse
gets me every time.
Every time. Today's which one's worse is a parenting edition. So these are some stories that have happened in the past day or so in the news related to questionable parenting decisions. Mainstream media and the firsthand witnesses in these stories' opinions, not necessarily mine. So we're going to get through them and see if you guys think one's bad, two's bad, they're both bad, none are bad, or which one's worse. First up, a mother was allegedly accosted on a plane and then took to Reddit's "Am I the asshole?" thread over a recent flight she took with her husband and 3-year-old daughter, where all sat in first class.
Okay.
That is precisely.
Toddler.
That's right. That is precisely what the incident was about. A loud, snotty, fidgety 3-year-old toddler being in first class with the elite adults. According to the mom, the second she got on board, which was early because her husband's disabled, she and her disabled husband and 3-year-old kid obviously were seating in an obviously well-off, smart, handsome man who was in first class gave her the stink eye, she said.
Okay.
She had to throw disabled husband in there to try to gain sympathy. But also, how does she know that the man wasn't giving the stink eye because of her disabled husband? If I'm in first class, I don't want to have to help with this guy's breathing device or get his pee bag away from me, or
right. No, that's a great point, Mark. Also, how are they the only people in first class who are like not like great looking and rich?
Right.
Like that's the picture that they're painting. So
she's got a disabled husband and a toddler. This is a mess already.
We could barely afford these tickets, and all these rich people are just.
There's so many uggos in first class. There's always a hottie. There's always the
same in first class.
There's like not a lot of hotties. There's always someone hotter than the hottest person in first class is always hotter than the hottest person in coach. but not everyone is hot.
I don't know.
I'm just saying, can't this disabled guy just die already? I'm trying to drink my 6 double makers and Cokes in peace, you know?
There's always
I'd rather fuck the coach, hottie.
Yeah.
Way more fun.
Apparently, though, this guy cleared up that it was
Anything
about the
goes.
kids, about the daughter. You'll hear pretty soon. That was what was annoying him.
Right.
Yeah. So, but she was really double dipping there with the disabled husband and the kid. 2 different flight attendants checked up on her pre-flight to make sure her and her fucked up family was in the right seats, which they were. And apparently, it's because this guy or everyone else in first class complained about them. So, boom. Only people that got checked for their tickets was this family twice. The guy even told her right after takeoff that her and her family should move to their real seats. And when they landed and it came time to deplane, the male passenger allegedly leaned in, whispering to her, "Hey, you bitch, I pay way too much money for first class to be surrounded by children." So she said he only talked shit to her, by the way, when her husband fell asleep. That's when he started talking shit to her. But since she described her husband as disabled in the very beginning, I'm assuming he was just asleep and drooling on himself the whole flight. So that's not really a fair point. Yeah.
I bet the guy, the asshole, because I've seen, I don't know if you guys have seen it, where like sometimes a veteran or someone will give up their seat to like a person in uniform that's in first class, be like, "Hey, thank you for your service, sit in first class." So maybe this guy thought that this was like a
Make-A-Wish,
an exchange program where 3 people in
3 people gave it up for these schlubs.
Yeah,
he just also be a bump.
He just couldn't fathom that they had 500 expendable dollars per ticket.
Exactly.
It just blew his mind that they had $1,500. Like this guy's just such an elitist piece of shit. Like honestly,
what about to the point of him?
Scum of the earth.
What about to the point of him shaking down the wife, and she's mad that she shook him down. He shook her down instead of the husband. Was he supposed to shake down a disabled man?
Yeah, he's complaining to the fucking the stewardesses. Oh, is this family really in first class?
Look at this family. Look at their clothes. The mother went on to say that homeboy and everyone else shouldn't have even been mad to begin with because her daughter was, not misbehaved. She was just coloring the entire trip and only got up when she had to go, quote, potty, not realizing how she sounds and what she says. Oh, great. Because now there's 25 crowns rolling around the fucking cabin and your kid is going, quote, potty probably 4 to 5 times, making this guy want to go potty to throw up his makers and Coke.
Yeah.
Oh, the crowns are ruining my makers
all over the place.
Experience.
All over the place.
This dude should go. He probably does the self asphyxiation. So he should think about caradining.
Well, to his bank account probably. Yeah. She then admitted but she did admit this when she was telling this story at Thanksgiving dinner. The majority of her family members sided with the dude and said, "Hey, book economy next time. People spend good money to relax in first class." So her own family told her to fuck off.
But I will say, if I splurged and spent a bunch of money on a first class ticket, and then a toddler showed up, and I don't believe her that this toddler was perfectly behaved either.
Of course it was. It was a toddler.
That I would be pissed, but I certainly wouldn't say anything.
How long of a flight, Mark? This makes a big difference.
It didn't say. It sounded like a long time with all the complaints she had. By the way, babies and toddlers are allowed in first class, but and there's no airline that has like an adults only flight. You have to fly private to that.
No, they just had to bend over backwards for this dickhead that was being a complete piece of shit to everybody.
He was requiring a lot of attention. But Japan Airlines does show you where all the babies are when you're booking your flight by putting a baby emoji in book seats so you can avoid.
That's awesome.
Crying baby emoji.
Yeah. Japan Airlines. All right, next parenting decision we're gonna have to get on a plane, ironically, to go check out. First, I was gonna do 2 Australian parents who some people were hating on for throwing their 1-year-old an extravagant McDonald's birthday party like we had in the 90s, but what they did was they bought, because most of those like big play pens are gone, so they bought an old entire McDonald's playground, put it in their backyard, then bought a jumpy air castle, one of those bounce houses, and like 500 cheeseburgers, 1,000 chicken nuggets, a bunch of Big Macs, and just threw a hell of a party in their giant backyard.
Sounds awesome.
And I couldn't see even how that was possibly being hated on, even joking around. The reasons were, you spent too much money and your kid won't remember it. But that's so stupid that I had to like pivot because like, look at this.
Wait, but I thought they were mad about the being like them feeding a McDonald's. Is that what?
No, they're mad at them spending too much money on a 1-year-old's birthday
because they're making them look bad.
And the kid, yeah, exactly. And the kid, this is when she's 5. They left the thing up there, and they love this thing, and it's been perfect ever since. They're saying you spent too much money on a 1-year-old, so they're not going to remember it anyways. Guess what? The parents had a good time. The kid, they got pictures. Shut up. So I had to pivot.
The 1-year-old birthday party's not for the kid.
I had to pivot. Will, that's not the one we're going to worry about. Luckily, I was able to dig up.
Internet commenters are the worst.
Yes, I was able to dig up
with them on everything.
Better questionable parenting decision. That's why we're not in Australia, but we're now in China, where 39-year-old Lu from Zhejiang in eastern China was hospitalized recently and nearly died from doing what he thought was a good parenting move that instantly backfired. Lou was having a lovely day with his wife and daughter by a stream when his young daughter screamed in pain, "Ah!" And it was because a fucking crab pinched his daughter right in the foot. And no one hurts Lou's daughter. So what did he do? He grabbed that stupid crab and he ate it whole and raw. Just ate the shit out of the crab.
What? Psycho.
Just ate the crab, shell and all. Just, you pinch my daughter, I eat you.
I mean, did he bite the crab to kill it? But he ate it.
He ate it, Pat.
It was probably a tiny like crab that they have over there in the stream.
Yeah,
you guys have seen Castaway though. Isn't like the inside of it like gooey when you crack it open? It's all disgusting.
It was a bay crab too, Will. When he went to the
guy in Castaway was starving, Will.
This guy was starving mad. He was he was not happy. When he went to the hospital a month or so later for severe lower back and digestion pain and problems, the doctor asked, "Have you changed up your diet at all?" And he couldn't think of anything, but his wife helped him out and said, "Hey Lou, remember that day by the stream?" And Lou smiled from the hospital bed and said to the doctor, "That's right, I did eat something special that day." And then the doctor asked, "Lou, what do you mean by special?" Lou responded, "I ate a live crab to take revenge for my daughter." And Lou contracted 3 separate parasites from the dirty pond crab, and he's been on medication ever since. So I ask you,
The crab guy's the best.
Yeah. I did eat something special that day. They're like, "Why don't you stop with the riddles, Lou? What'd you eat?"
Yeah, where's your daughter, Lou?
Was it a crab?
Oh, he has so much honor.
I'd have to say, the people complaining about the McDonald's are the worst in that one.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sick. If you find a McDonald's Playscape that's available for purchase, get it, bro.
Yeah, look how cool.
On a personal level, absolutely the dude in first class. But
yeah, I think the first class dude for me too.
Man, there were 2 babies in first class last.
Well, I just can't imagine like, dude, putting out that extra couple thousand to fly your family first class so that you had the comfort. And then this fucking guy is just like being such a dick the entire flight. Like, oh, it's fighting words. It's absolutely worth it to fight that guy.
It's actually more considerate when you think about it because there's less people in first class that you would potentially annoy than back in coach.
Look, I think that the disabled husband probably needs to get on board and have more rooms too. Like that's like
exactly.
Yeah,
you're right.
He probably might
if he's like in
class.
In
and her family's kind of worse too, right? Siding with the stranger jerk at
they must be rich. That's what I'm saying. This is
jealous.
People.
Family's jealous.
Her poor family's so mad.
No, they're not poor. That's the thing. Is like they
are.
No.
Yeah, they poor.
Yeah,
they
no,
poor.
No. That was fabricated. I believe that's fabricated. Because if they were poor, they would have fucking swung on that guy. They're rich. That's what I'm saying. If they were poor,
no, their family is poor.
I'm saying,
the family that sided with the asshole is poor.
At Thanksgiving dinner, a lot of the family is probably like, "Stop talking about your first class seats."
Oh, they were just mad they weren't first.
We get it.
Yeah.
We
the whole family, huh? Anyways, that's gonna do it for Hard Fact. Let's bring up the wheel. I'll eat this crab.
Here we go. Wheel time. All right.
Don't date Lou's daughter. Wesley. Ooh, another Wednesday night.
Another Wednesday
West. Wednesday night West. Thursday morning West.
There you go. Hey, that's going to do it for the show. We tweaked our audio a little bit, so let us know if the quality's getting better there. we gotta get a trivia night going too before Christmas, hopefully. But look for those Macho Man emojis. Eric's gonna tell you on Thursday Night Live how to subscribe to us.
Subscriptions.
Please share all of our stuff, please. 5-star reviews on Apple, 5-star reviews on Spotify. 2023 is gonna be a huge year for us. We need to hit the ground running. So please spread the word about Hard Factor, and most importantly, get out there and have a great fucking day.